Welcome into Sports Talk, the stadium here, Colonial Life Arena. Kevin McCrary with you, USC. This afternoon, a loser against Texas A&M by 10, 60-52. Gamecocks never had a lead in this one in the beginning, really playing from behind before the game even started, shorthanded against a Texas A&M team that's on its way to punching an NCAA tournament bid. The Gamecocks, as we know, didn't have Demetrius Henry or Shamik Shepard. Those two will be out for the remainder of the regular season, serving a suspension for an undisclosed violation. And the Gamecocks, another game without Marcus Stroman, who is battling a throat infection. Actually, he's on the other end of it, but it's been a real humdinger for him. He hasn't eaten until recently. In the past 48 hours, he was eating solid food for the first time, and he's lost about 20 pounds. According to Frank Martin, and he looks, seeing him before the game, he was here. He wanted to play, but he's lost a bunch of weight. So how long till he gets back? He hasn't been able to run or do any basketball stuff since that sickness. The Gamecocks were playing down from the beginning, and then less than 3 minutes into the game, Sindarius Thornwell picked up 2 fouls, so he's on the bench for the remainder of the half. At the 17:49 mark on, they don't have one of their best players. They had to go into a zone, and Texas A&M, they're just too good. They're just too good against that zone. They can knock down those shots. And, Daniel House, he was a guy that hit a majority of those threes. He finished with 25 points. He had 7 threes, and that's a bitter pill for the Gamecocks. They recruited him hard as a transfer player. They thought they had a good chance at landing him. Texas A&M came in late. House is a Texas native, so he ended up staying close to home and got a waiver to play this year for the Aggies, a hardship waiver, and the rest is history. He started out at Houston, now he's at Texas A&M, and he's a very good player for that Aggie squad who knocked off the Gamecocks, had a 13-point lead at the half. The Gamecocks fought back, though. I mean, give them credit. They did battle back, got it down to a couple possession game, around 5 points, and just couldn't get the big play. So, if you're watching this, you're obviously still into Gamecock basketball. You're not jumping off that train, and kudos to you, because a lot of people have, and I the season's lost. The Gamecocks are 13-13. They're going nowhere again. But I will continue to say I've watched this team since Frank Martin took over, through the Darren Horn years, the Dave Odom years, and the Eddie Fogler years. This team now in year 3 under Frank Martin has more talent than he had in year 1. It's not correlating into the wins that he would like, that anybody would like, but they do have more talent. They still are missing some pieces. They have such a thin margin of error to begin with, and then you have guys suspended and injured. You lose that margin. You have to play almost perfectly. So that hasn't helped. And the SEC is a better conference now than it was 4 or 5 years ago, too. So that hasn't helped the Gamecocks cause much here in the SEC slate. But I do think there's still some bright days ahead, sooner rather than later, for this program. But this is another one of those tough days at the office for Frank Martin and his Gamecocks as they lose to Texas A&M. They'll take on Alabama in Tuscaloosa Tuesday night as they try to avoid falling below 500 for the first time since the early part of the season, when they lost to Baylor and had a little tough spell down at the Charleston Classic. So that's going to do it here at Colonial Life Arena. Appreciate you checking us out here at sportstalksc.com. There's lots of stuff on the website, and we'll have plenty on the show throughout next week, starting on Monday.